be loyal to you, Master. I'll be loyal to you.
This podcast is sponsored by RealComicBooks.com. RealComicBooks.com.
Hey everybody. Hello. Look at that. It's already Tuesday around that time. I keep repeating myself when I say this. You know, when you get to a certain age, I don't know where the fuck time goes. I truly don't. I feel like I was just here like 2 days ago. You know, it's odd. It's weird. But anyways, besides the point, we got an interesting show today, and I say interesting because I don't know, I just felt like using that word. You know what? I honestly don't even understand how I even have a podcast. I truly don't. But it's guys like you who keep me going because I like hanging out. I don't do this to make money. I don't have 10 million followers. But I just do it because it's something for me to look forward to every Tuesday. And my wife likes it too, because I'm not there with her. So that's always a positive. All right. So let's introduce it's gonna be a good show. It could be a lot of comic talk, a lot of opinions. We're hoping to get them some stuff going. Let's bring in some people here. So let's see. Let's go bring in my buddy Mark. Look at that.
Good evening.
What's going on there, pal? How you doing, man?
Good.
All right. Dan is, believe it or not, Dan's not here today. He's busy watching Christopher Cross with his wife. And I'm not making that up.
He's sailing away.
He's sailing away. As a matter of fact, I think he already sailed. Good luck to him. So filling in for son of a bitch, he just disappeared. What a worst segue ever. Jesus, Andrew. Filling in for Dan is Andrew Louis from the old comic capsule.
How you doing?
Yeah, good, man. Second time on the show.
Yeah.
I always love Andrew and his products. I pimp his shit all the time because I like it. It's good stuff.
Dude. Thank you.
Yeah, plus he sends me free stuff. Other than that, we got who else? Oh yeah, my brother from another color. I'm gonna wait for him to shove that face full of food first before I bring him on stage. Oh, look at that! There he is. What's up, my brother?
What up, Mark? What up, Andrew?
What's up, man?
Yo, thanks for that. Yo, fire, man. Thank you for the gift. I want to promote that.
Nope. All right, here we go. So,
it's
no
fire.
No, it's not fire. Okay,
it is.
Then and then to introduce the guy of the hour. Yeah, look at that. Big Clutch.
What's up, y'all?
Pal?
How you guys doing?
Good, man. It's the first time on this show. We've had him on a few times already on my past show. But Shawn is always a good guy to have. It's been a while, but like I said, he has his pulse. He has his finger on the pulse of what the hell's going on in the comic community, and that's what the show is going to be about. We are going to be talking about what is going on with the current state of comics, especially that in the modern field, right? Obviously, you guys know Shawn's connection to Skybound and all that good stuff, and he always has his stuff. You know, I mean, he knows what the hell's going on. And Ish obviously has his own brick and mortar, and he has his Facebook page that sells modern books, so it should be interesting. So why don't we go ahead and get into this I did learn some before I want to throw something out there. So I did hear that obviously what DC is throwing out some stuff coming out soon, right? Legion of Superheroes. Is that correct?
Yeah,
They're
New
dropping
Legion.
that.
Josh Williamson I think is writing that.
Yeah.
And they're doing what's the other one? I don't remember. This is the reason why I don't follow this. It's a total of 3 of them. Ish.
Is the demon one of them? I think perhaps.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I saw
the demon's coming, but that's the next level.
Is that next level? Okay.
This next level imprint is the demon. I heard of Legion. I'm not, unless you kind of put a bug in my ear. So much going on in comics, man. DC is.
What DC is on? DC's on fire, right? DC
Fire.
is just like. Is Marvel sitting in the rooms going, oh, damn? So what?
I mean, they made some. They're making some adjustments with
yes, that's what it is.
Wrapping up Chip Zdarsky exclusively, and you know what I mean. They're definitely trying to return fire, so to speak. I don't, but
that I just remembered. Yeah, so it's a new Teen Titans. Thank you, Peter. And I think this one is
what up, Peter?
Featuring Jason Todd. So
yeah, they're putting together an entirely new team, as a matter of fact, of Teen Titans. Some cool characters on there too.
What do you guys? Are you guys? Is this something you guys are excited about? Or you're like, well, I guess we'll just see.
I mean, personally, I'm stoked. You know, like I love getting, you know, a refresh on things and getting new teams and just giving stuff a shot. You know, I was always a fan of the Legion of Superheroes, so I love Josh Williamson. So I'd love to kind of see what he's going to put in there. He's done a great job on all of his books at DC. He does a great job on G.I. Joe over at Skybound and Image. So for that, I didn't catch who was doing Titans or Etrigan, but you know, I think they've done a pretty good job with Lobo already. Who are the other next level ones? It was Lobo, Tony Fleece on Deathstroke.
You got Batman.
Firestorm is too, right?
You got Fury, Firestorm, Batwoman.
Yeah, I'm liking that.
Dead
I think it's been a pretty good run.
Oh, Deadman, that's right too. That one, that book is really cool. You know, and then on the the same side with all the Absolute stuff, like they're just killing it on that game too. So it's so fun to be a fan of DC stuff right now. And I think the Marvel stuff, it does feel like it's lagging. I think that Ish was saying with getting Chip on board with more stuff. I think they're trying to do this Midnight World with Hickman and what that's going to turn into. I do feel it's a little bit I don't love it, but I'm interested to give it a shot and see what it's like. But I feel like it's going to be, you are light years behind trying to capture the interest and the excitement that is on the Absolute titles right now. It's and I like Hickman's work, but I just don't feel it's that the Midnight is like, yeah, this is what the kids are going to be chomping for. It feels like us old heads are like, oh cool, I like horror stuff, I like vampires and creepy stuff, but it's like it's not going to be as quick and fast paced as what I think they need.
It's interesting because I don't think they need to, Absolute is actually a direct result of Ultimate, right? And I don't think that they need to capture what Absolute is doing at all. I just think that they need to find a course that works and stay that course. You know what I mean? We found out, we know Ultimate is coming back, and what DC is doing, not to knock DC, is anomalous, right? They haven't been this successful in the 21st century and probably the last half of the 20th century. You know what I mean? Like this is, and I'm not saying that it's a fluke, because it's not. Yeah. They didn't just put out a good brand with Absolute. Some of their Elseworlds titles coming out of 2025 were pretty good. The Batman manga was really good. The static the static Batman Beyond was good. They had a couple winners. They had the Batman, Sam, what's the one we always talk about? The Batman series that nobody bought, that
Dark Patterns,
right? Which is just crazy good, right? Like nobody bought it, and now you can't buy it. Like if you want to buy it.
The writer's getting a new miniseries too, so we'll see what comes of that. Either it's a follow-up or it's something completely different. So
KO didn't stick the landing, but KO was ultra successful. Tons of people, came to DC. DC really did well again, I don't think it's like a fluke at all. They just finally kind of, in my opinion, found a course, stayed that course, and I think a lot of people were discontent with the wealth of Batman titles that pretty much gave you the same thing, and the wealth of Superman titles that pretty much gave you the same thing. And again, and I'm gonna end it personally. I think the only way, there's like only one thing you could have done to make Green Arrow interesting, and that's like kill him and make him a zombie, right? Like otherwise, like it's like the only thing you can do.
That's the only way, right?
You know what I mean?
But,
So you're trying to say
line-wide revitalization right now. I mean, Firestorm's pretty awesome.
It's
Yeah,
great.
I'm liking Firestorm.
Yeah.
Great.
That has
There's
been
a
an
couple
amazing
really
read.
great
I'm
titles.
thrilled for Legion of Superheroes. Like Hayden Sherman taking that on, illustrating not only that, but still Absolute Wonder Woman. Like that title to me is untapped potential. A million different heroes, not really well known, so you could play around with them in the future, and it can have some huge repercussions. You know, they did it in Superman last year by bringing Dark Legion in. So let's see what they got for us. That should be fun.
You know, Sam, for me, it's Teen Titans, right? Like seeing Jonathan Kent and Static and some of these other characters, that younger characters in the DC universe crush. Like seeing some of these characters get an opportunity to shine on this team is really, it's kind of compelling to me.
Well, and it's putting other characters in the spotlight in a different way. Like I think the solicit showed like Starfire is walking away from the team, so she's going to have her own maybe mini series. So that'll be good.
And if y'all
last books did really well
recommendation
spec-wise.
that y'all can jump on right now, Supergirl Survive. For those that are listening, Supergirl Survive is pretty special. The first issue is crazy good.
the only reason why I hate doing this show, it makes me want to read, but it's not going to happen. But it makes me want to read because I want to feel like I want to be part of the cool club, right? The cool kids, and I can say, "Oh yeah, I like the part where I can't say any of that shit," right? So you guys are my voices. Let me ask all of you guys, in the current state of comics that we're in, what is, and I'm going to ask each one of you guys, and I'll give you a few minutes to respond. What is going right currently in the current state of comics? Let's go with I'm going to go with you, Mark. What's going right? What's happening that's the good?
Well, I mean, I think, the success of Absolute Batman's been huge, and it's getting people in, and it's kind of like what Kirkman said, they're coming into the store to buy that. They're leaving with, books from other publishers. So I think that's good. I think the indie stuff, that I'm in is huge right now. There's so many indie books out there. There's there's such a variety to choose from, in the indie side of it, that I think, that's great. Marvel's kind of down, right now, but, I think it's a great time to be, in comics. People always say, oh, it's dying. It's, shops are closing. It's never going to make it. But I just think there's always stuff, like the Energon universe, like someone for my age, like that was all my jam when I was a kid, G.I. Joe, Transformers, like all that stuff. And to see all that stuff come together is just huge. So I think it's, for me personally, I can share that with my 10-year-old now and be like, hey, this is the stuff I liked when I was a kid. You should read this book and check this out. So I think, it's a good time to be in comics right now. I think, across the board that it's really good time.
All right, Andrew, how about you? What's been going on that you've been enjoying, other than making a product where you're able to put your comics inside?
So I think right now is kind of a double-edged sword going on. I think some of the books that are coming out are huge, like the Absolute series, obviously. I just have been around long enough to have experienced like a whole variant cover phase of comic books that ultimately popped the bubble. And I'm not saying that's going to happen with this. I think it's good in the respect that it's getting more people to read and to buy titles and buy books and maybe experiment with different comics as well. And, on the business side, it's fantastic for us, right? Because people want to put their one of 900 blah 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 signed and remarked books into comic capsules, which is great for us. I just hope that there's not a bubble to be burst with this, and it scares me when there are. I think there were like 120 covers for one of the Absolute series, and to me that's scary. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that's good or bad. I guess right now it's good for some people, and it's bad for others. Good for people that are able to get them and flip them and make money on them, but bad for like people that just want to read the book or have a nice cover by one of their favorite.
Yeah, we had a whole discussion with the cover artists last week about variants, and they had we had a whole interesting take about it, and love them or like them. There's some part of the community that's not going to be going away. Shawn, what do you think? What's going on? What's the best?
I think accessibility. Someone in the chat mentioned the fact that there are, you can go into a store right now and you can pick up the 5th, 6th, 7th printing of issue number 1, issue number 2, third print, whatever. Like being able to have these things in store when a person comes in is awesome. There was a time, 10 years ago where if you miss issue 1 or 2, you literally had to wait to get to the trade. And so you wait 3 months to pick up a trade because publishers weren't doing a bunch of reprints of their issues in consecutive reprint. Like now you could pop in, cool, man. I can pick up, if I want to get the trade, and then pick up like 7, 8, 9, get the reprints of those 2. I think it's hugely accessible. And then also like, I love like the pocket books, the little digest sized ones, like, dear Lord, like having a $10, $12 price point again for like when I started working in the industry, like, image trades were $9.99. You can always get in there. First walking in $9.99, first in Invincible, $9.99. Now they're $12, $15. But being able to have a lower price point for younger folks to come in and just pick up, if they just want to toss them in their backpack, the typical like, oh, I'm gonna put it in my backpack and go. But it's like it's nice to be able to have lower price point stuff, because they don't want to spend $5 each month to pick up a new issue. So you're spending $30 just to get one trade's worth of story when you can get it for 10 now and just kind of feel like you're caught up. I love it.
All right, Sam.
I mean, I 100% agree with accessibility, but I'm also going to say it's the quality and the properties that are really driving the industry right now. We're at a height, look at what Invincible and Energon is doing to bring folks in on like the independent side and from TV shows into, just reading and collecting. Absolute has brought so many younger readers in. There's like a TikTok movement of comic readers and reviewers and sellers who really got their start on Absolute. I think Dungeon Crawler Carl is another property that is absolutely huge in getting folks into reading comics or graphic novels. And that is just getting eyes on our industry, whether it's in a good way or a bad way. We can debate that, but it's bringing new people in. I think there's publishers like Ignition Press who are, opening up what's possible for either creators who want something different, away from Image, away from the the big two also, and to take their properties and just have more freedom, creative control, and get it out to the masses. And they're getting their shows out there like Beauty. That's been cool. And then we're also just anticipating Blumhouse and Something is Killing the Children. I don't think there's a better time to be interested in comics and to jump in, because it's all genres, it's all properties, it's incredibly accessible. Whatever you like in your normal like hobbies or watching interests or reading interests, you can find it in comics right now.
Before I go to Ish, I was going to interject with nostalgia. I think what's going on now, and Peter read my mind, I was going to say everything that's going on of from my youth. All right. Thunder, Silverhawks, all that stuff, Transformers, it's for guys my age, it's a good time to be alive, and to kind of it hits that nostalgia button. I have yet to go see He-Man. I probably won't. It'll probably be on the screen
We're
soon.
glad
Then
you're
we-
still alive at our
Well,
age.
thank you. I know that's nice.
I think the
Not John
nostalgia
Romita
thing
Jr.
is
though.
interesting. And I wonder if we're going to see a trend soon in comics take the same way that the movies have. Like, He-Man wasn't a massive success, but independent horror is going absolutely crazy. So, like, is nostalgia on its way out? I don't know. Like, I don't know how these Dynamite titles.
They're going to burn out all
They're-
the nostalgia stuff. That's what's going to
I
happen.
don't know. Maybe. Like,
I mean, how much nostalgia? Well,
You
my
can't-
nostalgia of the
every-
80s.
Every decade, something becomes nostalgic, right?
Correct.
And exactly, because
Yeah.
all of a sudden now it's gonna be the '90s nostalgia, right?
yeah, we've
The
seen
80s
some of
would be
that.
out.
Like, Street Sharks came in recently. And what else? We've got.
I'd say Ben
Like
10 being
Ben-
the most
oh,
recent,
that's-
like
yeah.
crazy
And that's been going nuts.
release.
Biker mice. What is it? Biker mouse.
For me,
Mice from Mars.
Back of my tomorrow. Yeah.
for me, and I just want to touch on what Andrew said, and it's unfortunate, but it's just a harsh reality. The reality is, it is basic economics. There'll be a bust at some point, given certain metrics and whatever, whatever outside influences, whatever they may be. There will be a bust because that's just economics, right?
Yeah.
You have to have a boom, you have to have a bust, you have to have it. It's an ebb and a flow, and it's a cycle, and it's never going to be sustained indefinitely, right? But what I am seeing, what I would highlight is I think we are in a golden age of cross media branding, like getting it right. Like, the early 2000s saw Marvel with the movies and people FOMOing on books because, this first appearance is going to be this or that. That's done. Right now we're seeing things like, Marvel Rivals, right? Bringing tons of people who don't read comics to comics because they just want to get their, the cover with their main on it, or, Transformers in the Energon universe, and
The Invincible game.
with the card set, the Invincible game, the Invincible card. Like, we're seeing, and I get readers who message me. Seriously, they message me or they come into my shop looking for Invincible, and I'm like, yeah, no one has Invincible. They're like 8, 9, 10 years old, and no. There's it. I'll give you Battle Beasts, I'll give you capes, but they're coming and they're looking for it. And then when EC did the EC horror line to speak to the nostalgia, you know what I mean? I get a lot of college kids who don't read comics and all they want is an EC horror book from Oni Press, right? So when you really look at it, I think we're in this golden age where, and this is across all brands, right? Like Image Comics is doing it with, capitalizing on licensing toy lines, and they even there are some Energon Universe toys and Exquisite Corpses with the card game, and Dork's got a card set coming out, and you look at Marvel, and Marvel's branding right now, while they might not be as successful as they are putting out monthly releases, how many people I got probably 50 people walking into my shop who will never buy another comic again, just looking for Avengers Armageddon with the Magic card, right? Just to get the Magic card, you know what I mean? So I think we're at this place where it's no longer about FOMO, and it's actually about manga's influence, and Marvel doing the manga stuff, and even DC doing the manga stuff, and even Image doing manga stuff. They just put out a manga book. All of these things are generating real interest, not interest from people outside of the collecting community who are coming because I'm interested. Even the TV shows now are
reader interest.
Yeah, reader interest. It's like, so I think they're finally understanding the balance of cross media branding and how it can impact sales, and not sales from old readers, because the goal is to get new readers, right? The old readers are going to be there. We just got to keep you. The goal is to get new readers. And I think we're at this golden age where we're going to see a lot more of that. Shout out to Robert Kirkman. I think he's very influential in that, with having a very successful TV show based off of his property, having a second very successful TV show based off of his property, and then certainly capitalizing on a very popular brand from Hasbro that many people across generations are aware of. That helps. So I think that's, for me, that's what I'm saying is working.
That's why
really
I don't
well across the industry.
I don't think there's going to be a whole industry pop. If anything's going to pop, it's just going to be a certain aspect of the business, whether it's variants or whether it's, I do store
it'll be replaced. It'll be replaced
doing
with something
fine.
else.
Like, there's 120 options out there, but everyone has a place to, capture part of the market, make their money, and if you want to buy it, great. If you don't, then you just vote with your dollars.
But yeah,
I don't see. I mean, if you're getting into it expecting everything's going to, make you rich overnight, no, just buy it because you love the art. You want to support whether it's the creator or the book or the team who's curating that book with the artist. Do it because you love it.
It's going to be it's interesting because our next show next week, and this is where I think the money's at. Next week we're going to be talking about OAs. That I think is where I think the money's going to be when it comes to investment wise. All right, so
well, hold on really quick, Sam. What I think, and you know me, I like to identify trends before they become trends. What I think will push the market over will be blue chippers who are frustrated with CGC, with Modern, and who are running out of options, right? Because CGC's pretty much graded everything. A lot of the blue chip keys, a lot of that golden age stuff you can't find anymore. Copper is becoming harder to find. And I think there is going to be, as a result, retroactively, CGC is going to overwhelmingly, and maybe PSA, grade moderns at a level that we have not seen because they're running out of things to grade. And I think that might tip the industry, similar to what happened in the 90s with the plethora of.
I'm predicting maybe something different than that. Which I don't.
And maybe that's a contributing factor.
No, yeah, I don't disagree with you. I think over the next 15 to 20 years, you're going to see a lot of folks who have been collecting since their teenage years who they're going to die off. As sad as it is, but just knowing folks who have raw collections,
go to heaven,
just in our city, right? Just us ish. Mm-hmm. How many copies of these Bronze Age books that were printed to the high heavens? They're going to come out.
We live in an old book town too. Like there's
correct, but crazy. I think they're going to come out of the woodwork over the next 2 decades, and there's going to be an influx of Bronze Age keys getting graded, and it's going to impact supply. I don't know if they can hold prices. It'll be really interesting.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a factor too, and that's the thing when you talk about a bust, right? It's a perfect storm of events. Right, it's not like one thing or another thing. It's just this perfect. I mean, the collectible trading card company was as much responsible for the bust in the 90s as were retailers, misrepresenting their sales, and everybody and their cousin sitting at their house could get get an account to order comics. You know what I mean? Because they thought they're going to put their kids. There's so many different factors that led to that. You know what I mean? So yeah.
So obviously I let off with what's good. Let's go in with what your opinion of what is not so hot right now in the world of comics, and maybe actually even hurting it to a point where it's a little cringy. It's kind of like, oh, stop already, because it's.
And before we do that, I want to shout out to everybody in the comments. Shout out to everyone watching on Facebook, on Instagram, and watching on YouTube. If you are watching on YouTube, please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe. Really dope content. Really good chat going on. Y'all are all awesome. But make sure you do that. Thank you.
Yeah, please, because it's not easy starting a podcast from scratch. Man, building some followers. This shit ain't easy, people. And I can only give out so many tamales to all my fucking fans because
I haven't received tamales in the mail yet.
Well, I was going to say, this was on my rider, right?
No.
You got to count some tamales.
Along with only green M&Ms, Shawn.
Enchiladas.
So let's go ahead. Let's talk about what is hurting this comic community now. Now, when I'm saying this, it's not just about the books. We're talking. When I say comic community, I'm talking comic community as a whole, right? We can be talking about certain personalities, certain people, certain artists who are acting kind of crazy. So I'm gonna let you stew on that for a few minutes, and I'm gonna go to Andrew, because Andrew, I'm gonna go to you first and put you.
When it's my turn, can I list all the people I want to go to heaven?
No, actually,
in the community, it's a lot of people.
I don't. Maybe in the back room you can, in the green room, but not
so bad.
Okay. Andrew, what is it? What grinds your gears that's been going on that you're like, I don't like it?
It's just a natural part of like kind of just our general world in the U.S. We've always had speculators, right? So you have speculators on Wall Street, you have speculators in baseball or sports cards, you have speculators in comics. That's never going to go away. The thing that, and it doesn't really bother me as much as I just recognize it, is that there are people that will literally like not leave any copies of anything for anyone, speculating on them and like just having no regard for like the next person. And I'm not gonna be hypocritical because I've done that before too, and on something I thought was gonna be super hot. But I don't know. My opinion on that is the speculation market is just crazy.
I think it's greed is the word, and like I think that's what's part of ruining the worst part of our industry right now.
You can be a speculator and be in a speculative market and not be greedy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good point.
Agreed.
Sure.
Agreed.
Yeah,
you can offer limited books and not be greedy. You can, still lift up the community and create something incredibly rare and not be toxic about it.
Yeah.
Well, since you spoke up, Sam, what is yours?
Wait, sorry. Just to continue on what you just said, Sam. How do you regulate that, or is it self-regulated? Like someone should have like I don't know, like a conscience to not.
I can tell you how because I do it. I can actually give you an example how because
two per, 3 per. I mean,
So what I do, because I am a speculator, I built my entire business off speculation. It's called Comic Sense.
Yep.
And we have some of my customers in here right now, right? Peter being one of them, right? And he'll tell you. So what I do is I call myself the Robin Hood of the unfair market because I hate the unfair market. Period. I want to sell you what I want to buy, and I want to give you as much of it as I can and at the best price. So I'm going to take every book that people spec on and I'm going to sell it to you 2 for the price of 1 every time. Every week I'm pretty much 2 for the price of 1 on new comics. I only order spec books. I only order #1 issues. I only order first appearances. I only order first cover appearances. I'm going to go to my community. I'm going to give them the spec. I'm going to tell them what I think is going to be hot. I'm going to say, hey, this is what I think is going to be hot. And when I have it, I'm going to make it available. Always better than market. If it's a new book, it's generally at least 25% off. In most cases, 2 for the price of 1. Every Tuesday without fail. And I think that for me, because I hate the market, I hate all of the things that you're talking about. I hate retailers that mark up the price of a book the day it comes out. I want to drop the price. You know what I mean? I want to sell you what I want to buy. I'm from the street. When I sold weed, I sold what I wanted to buy. You know what I mean? Like I gave you what I want to purchase. A hustler once told me when I was a kid, always leave meat on the bone for the next man. You know what I mean? Like, so you can spec the market, and then you could just be a better person. You can give the spec, tell someone, hey, go get this book. And at least for me as a retailer, I don't got to go buy 10 copies of the hot book. If I think it's going to be hot, I just order over the top.
There you go. It's spitting it out. Sam, go ahead. What's killing it for you?
I think it's the level of toxicity that's in the community. And it's not everyone, but it's hard to prevent it in today's day and age.
Yo, Peter, thank you, bro.
Social media. But, what Andrew said was, the level of greed, I think from folks that should be promoting, I guess, openness in our community and bringing folks in to be able to get the books that they want. And I mean, you're not going to please everyone, but when you start putting barriers in place, charging people $150 in order to be able to buy a certain book, or all this different stuff. I'm not going to name names, but that stuff is happening, and then it's just crazy to me. We're so new into this variant game, that we don't have the level of demand where our books sell out immediately. But we're not charging prices that are crazy. We're charging $30 for Absolute Batmans, not $100 and something dollars. Like, I can't knock people for doing stuff like that if that's what they want to do, but I just think it kind of sours it for the normal collector. And you hear it on these Facebook groups. You hear it from the people who are just casual readers who maybe want to start collecting and buying at a different level, and you're just preventing them from jumping in and being a part of that part of the community.
Shawn, you're up.
Bro. We are in it. I want to phrase this correctly. We're in such a hot market right now, and the marketplace has changed with the past 5 years with Whatnot, eBay Live, all that stuff. People have come in from other collecting categories and seen, oh hey, there's all this cool stuff with comics we can jump in and do. We've seen a pretty wild influx of grifters who have come into the space, who don't have the long-term knowledge of the category. And it's a category just because I deal with eBay too much. Sorry, it's my corporate speak and stuff. But people just come in here and they don't respect the comic space and what has gone into building this. And I think that there's a big tradition there, and they just come in okay, how can I grift as hard and fast as I can and make as quick money and scam folks? And there's so many of these new people who've just kind of popped in now, and it's just it's overwhelming.
Yeah,
I think that's really the hardest part right now, and to me and I try, just Sam Nish was saying, is when I do a variant, I'm not going to be one of these guys who is all right, cool, I'm going to charge $50, $60, $75 for a brand new variant that just came out, and you've got print runs, and I'm not going to falsify my print runs and say, hey, it's a 750 print run, but I've only got there's only 400. Guess what? I set a bunch on fire, I put them in the shredder or whatever. No, man, I'll be straight up and hey, 750 print run, it's 20, 25 or $30, depending on what my cost is to get it done, including the art and the printing and all that stuff. And I want to keep it fair and meat on the bone. Issues that's honestly something I live by. I want everyone needs to eat in this industry, whether you're artist down to the buyer. I want everyone to be able to you get a book, buy it, sell it, whatever. If I lose money, end of the day, I don't care. I'm selling enough stuff to cover those costs, and I'm not gonna get upset on if this book is a $15 book and I sold it for 10 on a stream. All right, cool, whatever. Someone else can now take that book and they're $5 up. Good for them, good.
It's a shame for newbies who are getting into this hobby now, and it's a shame that they land in the deep pool of toxicity sometimes right off the bat. Because when they start seeing posts about this and that and blah blah blah, and you're like, "Damn, is this what it's about?" Because I'll hear from people saying, "Oh, this is nothing. You should check out the Hot Wheels community."
Oh God, it's so bad.
You should check out the car community. You should check this community. You should check that community. The comic community is nothing compared to that. I'm like, damn, go figure. But it is. We as the stewards of this hobby, because we've been around, we should be able to take in the newbies with open hand. We should be able to say, ask away, man. What do you need to know? What are the warning signs you want to know? These are the warning signs where you might want to avoid, or you're going to get scammed, or if it sounds too good to be true, it's not true. We need to be that beacon for them to kind of go to, instead of going, oh, you're a new guy? Oh yeah, this book, it's gonna pop off. So just buy it now. You're gonna get a discount of $60, right? That it's the shark, it's the blood in the water, right? And they start to circle that newbie, going, oh, this is gonna be like taking candy from a baby. Mark, Well, hold on. Let's get Mark, and then you're the last. I'm going to give you the piece. Mark, what are you thinking?
So I mean, I agree with Clutch, and I was gonna kind of say the same thing. Is like, you've got those people that are like that. Luckily, we're a tight knit community, and they'll start calling these people out that are doing like that kind of stuff. The other thing for me, so get your eggs and tomatoes ready. I love blind bags when they're done right. When they do like Marvel just did with the 616, and it's just like, I bought one and I'm like, I didn't realize what I was getting until I opened it and read, the bag and stuff. And I'm like, so I'm getting a facsimile cover, I'm getting a mask, and I'm getting a black and white, it's supposed to be a rare version of the comic, but it's like, if Marvel would have looked at the successful blind bags that were already done, like Clutch with Battle Beast, and and at the same time when I bought the 616, I bought a mask bag. And with the mask bag, I was like, oh, cool. I'm gonna get one comic, but it's gonna be, it could be one of whatever. There's stuff on there like the ROM comic that wasn't on the back that you could get that you didn't know about. So for me, it's like, I'm a sucker for blind bags because I have that itch. I'm like, oh man, this might be the one. But when they're not done right, it's just like, it ruins like the whole thing. And it's like, makes me rethink the next time. I'm like, well, do I really want to do this? Because, the last time it sucked ass. So do I really want to get into that again?
Mark, did you see those Something is Killing the Children blind bags that are coming?
No.
Oh man, I think they did it right.
Yeah.
The way that they broke it down, it sounds amazing, actually.
Nice.
So it's
just when Mark was getting off his addiction, you're that guy around the corner going,
hey,
you're
man.
that guy around the corner. You're the guy around the corner going,
trench coat. I just have a bunch of bandanas.
What do you need, right?
Something is killing.
Ish, before I go to you, shit, I had a thought and I fucking lost it. Son of a bitch, Mark, and your stupid blind bags. Ish, let's go to you. Let's go to you, Ish.
So I have a very specific. Before I get into that, I just want to really touch on something that you said, because it just pisses me off. Like,
frozen.
Yeah, look at that.
Okay, so
no, he's back.
Oh, he's back.
All right. So
right,
we talk about something that you just really quick to touch on something that you said. I remember a couple years ago, 3 years ago, they did the Ultimate Spider-Man Facsimile Edition, and a bunch of new people were complaining because a retailer had sold some younger people too, the Facsimile Edition, and they thought they were buying the first print of the original book, and I saw so many people commenting saying that they should know better, and I'm thinking to myself, motherfucker, no offense, but offense meant you should know better. Like, you should know better. You know what I mean? Like, wow. But anyway. So one of my biggest gripe right now today in the state of comics is the negative aspects of commercialism. It's creating such a spirit of divisiveness between retailers, creators, and purchasers. There's like this disconnect, and it's coming from so many different avenues. You got the blue chippers. I mean, you have people telling people how they should collect, and then criticizing or ostracizing them based upon the way that they collect. And then just the commercialism aspect, just the negative part, is causing this disconnect between retailers, between distributors, between creators, and between purchasers. Mind you, purchasers are the most important aspect of this community, right? Like, there is no medium. There is no artist drawing a book. There is no writer writing a book. There is no retailer selling a book if it wasn't for someone purchasing the book, right? If it wasn't for some kid who walked into a comic store one day and fell in love, or Caesar who wants to get his slab, or you know what I mean? Mark is passionate about doing what he does because whatever led him to it, he knows that there are people, I want to purchase my book and I want them to enjoy it. You know what I mean? I want them to get something great out of it. And Clutch does what he does, be it social media, you know what I mean, or as a retailer, because you want to impact. You don't want to impact other retailers. You don't want to impact Jim Lee, right? You want to impact some guy named Joe, you know what I mean, who may watch your stream and learn something about comics and start to purchase comics and grow to love the medium. For me, it's very important. I always say, shout out to every local comic shop, every live stream I do, because kids don't go into live streams. Kids walk into comic shops, and we need kids to continue to have access to comics so that they can grow up and be like, so they can, everything that we do is because somebody buys a comic for whatever reason they buy it for, right? Put it in a box and hope it's going to be worth money one day. Never read it and put it in a slab because they just like Scotty Young covers, or maybe someone just likes to read, whatever reason. And this disconnect that's being created, and you're seeing it now, where, you know, and shout out to Mark. I think it's a pleasure and it's an honor to know you and to have you here on this podcast every week and contributing your time, because you are starting to see this growing disconnect between creators, retailers, and fans, and the people that are suffering. And it's really kind of coming from creators. And I don't think it's their fault. I think that the market has become so commercialized with CGC books and the idea that people are going to make, you know, a buck off of their name or their signature or their art or their this or their that, or that retailers are getting over here or this way or that way, or some fan that comes up in the line. It's crazy. And I think it's the negative aspect of commercialism. It's just negatively impacting the community and creating a disconnect. And I don't like it.
Well, it just takes one bad interaction with the creator, or honestly, one bad interaction with the retailer, to turn you off to the entire industry, and you could be out.
And retailers are not blameless when we talk about retailers who see someone new, and especially in social media, right? You don't really find that in brick and mortars. You do. You'll get a retailer. You'll get a read. But in brick and mortars, it's more of, you know, some kid comes in with their book and you really lowball them because they don't know what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like I've had that happen to me as a kid. You know what I mean? It's only worth $5 and it's, you know, it's a $50 book or what have you. You know what I mean? Right. Or so you definitely see it on the retailer end as well. But you see it so much on social media, you know, whatnot, and Instagram lives and Facebook lives, where you get new buyers who get, I mean, they get taken. They
get sucked in. they get sucked in. They get sucked in by the. I mean, Shawn, do you see it? Those whatnot buyers are like, oh, you better get this now. There's only 4 left, and there's like 400 of them. There's only 4 left, right? $50 a steal. Oh, 60. No, we've seen it all.
Peter said Mike Mayhew. That's right, Peter.
A buddy of mine sent me a link.
Say his name.
A buddy of mine sent me a link to a seller on Instagram, and he goes, "Take a look at this." And this guy, I won't mention his name, but he's selling a raw Avengers. I have it right in front of me. Avengers 57 raw for $1,200. And I was like, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here, man. Does that mean my 7.0 must be like $5,000? You know, in that case, $1,200. That's crazy. Let's move on to the next topic. And I'm very interested in your guys' take on this JRJR and ASM 1000. Okay. We all saw it when it first came out. We all had our opinions. It just seems now, because there was that rumor going around that they pulled it and all that stuff, right? And that's not true, right? They didn't pull it. Right?
No.
What started that? What started that rumor? Who starts that rumor that as if Marvel's going to feel the pressure?
Broke it.
What? Yeah.
Like they pulled the cover.
Right. So Marvel's going to get the peer pressure from people. Oh, if the people don't like it, we must pull it, and yet keep all the Frank Miller pictures all there. You know,
there was no way they were pulling that cover.
No. So this is the thing. Nobody pulled that. Nobody pulled it. But the rumor mill fucking started like wildfire, and it's like this is so weird. What do you guys think of that? And let's go around.
I'm pretty sure the first hot take came from us 2 weeks ago when Ish laid into
Well, yeah.
What did Ish do this time?
I tell you what. I tell you what.
What did I do this time? I did it.
Sean,
what did I do? Which one?
Sean, what was your what? I mean, what did you think of that cover when you first saw it? You're like,
Oh,
this
you
is
mean
kinda-
when I said John Romita Jr. should join his pops?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
I did not. I don't love the cover. I mean, I'll hands out. I love John Romita Jr.'s work. I just don't think that cover was great. You know, it's odd body composition. I don't like whoever painted, colored over it. I don't think it did it a lot of justice. The trade dress was atrocious. Whatever that whole thing was, it felt more like a house ad than it was like a cover for an iconic issue, right? Like that's like, oh, that should be what you see in previews saying, hey, this issue's coming out. Here's all this blah blah blah. Like that didn't come off to me as like, this is the issue 1000 cover that is going to be an iconic thing. So
disclaimer: Spider-Man is really not about to take a shit in costume. Disclaimer. This is just a tease.
Is that what it is? That the fact that people think he just, for being cover A, he just phoned that shit in and just and for being, and like you said, for being it's going to be cover A.
It's a milestone. It's a milestone issue. So
it's a milestone issue.
It's going to be something that's going to be, popping. And it's going to be,
and that's what
they put out the pencils or the pencils of the art, and I thought the pencils actually looked a little bit cleaner than the painted, the colored cover, but it still wasn't like a fully fleshed out. Like it didn't have the definition in the arms and stuff. It just had his shoulders, and then the arms were kind of like whatever, they were kind of loosely penciled in and stuff. It just didn't. I don't know. It just didn't feel like this is the. Like I said, it wasn't a standout cover for an issue 1000, like an iconic cover. Like this is a milestone. Like 1000, there should be a tradition to it. It should look like some of the
Marvel's
other older
first 1000, right?
Isn't their first one?
Their first one, yes, their first 1000.
Wow.
So, like this should be, and it's interesting, right? Because with Spider-Man, you've already seen every pose. No one is going to, no one's coming with a new pose. Well, John Romita Jr. just did.
Good point.
Like no one is coming with a new Spidey pose. You've seen his foot wrapped around his neck 3 different ways. You've seen him shooting webs from, every angle of his body, from under his armpit, behind his back. Like we didn't seen it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just stuck on you love John Romita Jr.'s work. You mean like his old stuff, like his class.
I mean, dude, like the first comic I picked up off the rack was X-Men, 210, 211, like some iconic covers back then. Like I love that style of stuff. And I know his art isn't the same now as it was back then, even, through, the stuff with, the kick-ass stuff or whatever. It's changed and evolved, but like, I still like that stuff, but I can't say the most recent stuff, from his Superman DC days. I didn't love a lot of that stuff, but again, I still like his work. I still like his sketches. Like when you see him do stuff at shows, like there's some recently he's posted, like that's a cool looking head sketch, that stuff looks great, Can't win them all.
I would still purchase a JR original and have it colored.
I'd purchase Uncanny 207. the original, for sure. It's iconic.
Yeah, it's just very unfortunate that for a cover A, it wasn't something that you would think you would really like. I'm going to put some time into this, and I whatever it is, but yeah, it's an odd pose, the shoulders, the ass cheeks, just everything's just.
I mean, I don't know. I look at some of the other 1000 covers though, and just go, none of these are really special.
Getting it home.
They're all just Spidey and that web slinger pose. I think the one that impresses me the most is the Ross. It's a callback to Amazing Spider-Man 36, where he's lifting like everything up when he's in the water. Mm-hmm. And it's a different angle on that. You get a side profile of him fully lifting all the stuff off of his body. That to me is maybe the best of the ASM.
So Peter, I gotta disagree with you. I gotta say, and to John Romita Jr.'s credit, and everybody should know by now how I feel about John Romita Jr. Spider-Man art. To his credit, if you're gonna hit 1000, I could think of 4 people who you get to do that A cover. And if it's not John Romita Jr., which he should be in consideration, it's got to be like Bagley, McFarlane, or Larson, right? Like the current living definitive Spider-Man artist.
Or you just have Ross do it again.
I mean, I would have went with
or
Delato.
get Campbell back.
I just would have went with Delato, to be honest. But
I
don't think that would have been fair to a Bagley, a Larson, and McFarlane, or a John Romita Jr. I think they all should have a cover. They don't, but I think they all should get an opportunity to do a cover just because.
Yeah.
Like,
maybe
just
it was
because.
a nod to his dad as well, So.
I mean, that's not a nod to his dad. That he doesn't like his dad. If that's a nod to his dad, like,
oh my God,
he didn't go to the funeral. If that's a nod to his dad, he wasn't there.
So I think that you also have to keep in mind, though, is that, this made it through editorial. So, people at Marvel approved this and thought that it was, that this was going to be, their A cover. So you can't, you can blame the art so much, but you also have to look at, Marvel approved this. Marvel was cool with, this is going to be our, our milestone, 1000th issue.
I'm just saying, I've seen worse Spidey covers. So.
Oh yes, for sure. By John.
I don't know. It is what it is, But then again, you see some stuff that Mr. Miller has done in the past with his Wolverine and his other stuff.
They call it the Frank Miller's ugly art covers, but like that's a style. Like he's doing that on purpose. They're terrible, but he's doing it on purpose.
Is he getting worse? He's getting worse as the years go in. I mean, come on. It is what it is. I don't know. Just don't fucking buy it. I mean,
exactly.
I don't know what to tell you. Isn't it just like anything? If you don't like the song on the radio, you fucking flip to the next song. If you don't like that cover, you just don't buy it. If you don't like a certain title, you just don't read it. I mean,
I don't think it's like anything. And the reason why I say that is because it's like telling somebody who is a completionist who collects every issue of a thing for 1,000.
He won't have a choice. He's gonna have to buy
issue 1,000. And he probably can buy it, or she can probably buy it, but they can also critique it.
Yeah, but to the degree of shitting on it, that's the whole thing. Hey, it's very easy to go, I don't like it, but to go, it's the worst thing ever. It's the shittiest thing. He's losing his marbles.
If I can give you praise for making something great for me, then I can also be like, yo, that shit is shitty. Like, seriously. You can't have it both ways.
Yeah, but to be dragged through the mud it's a little extra.
Well, it got dragged through the mud on TikTok for a lot of newcomers in the comic reviewing. Like,
listen, I'm not running around with the book like, have you seen this shitty cover? But if the conversation, if it comes up in
it hasn't come out yet, so we don't know. You're not.
Yeah, but and I'm not gonna. But if the conversation comes up, I'm gonna be like, just like I can tell you that Uncanny X-Men 207, Uncanny X-Men 211 are fire examples of John Romita Jr.'s work. In fact, everything he did from like Uncanny X-Men 170 through, I think he stopped at 213. Fire. Really great covers.
Yeah.
What? Let me ask you guys about, and going back to the modern stuff. Is Dork still a thing?
Yes.
So he was at Heroes Con, and his line was one of the really long ones. Constant people at his booth, and my studio mate actually has his art book. He really is a talented artist, a very, very good creator, story writer,
one of the best.
And artist.
And he's writing a good story.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's got legs.
You don't know what the story is, but it's a good story.
Well,
it has legs for sure.
You're absolutely correct.
What's
Sean?
really good about it, because it sold me, and
100%.
I didn't care for Brett Bean beforehand. I didn't hate him. I'm not an I Hate Fairyland guy, none of that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's a very serious book that knows not to take itself too seriously. like under what you think is a layer of comedy and is a very serious story, very compelling story. And one of the things about this book, which I think people are not really paying attention to, is that every print truly sells out, right? Like this isn't a money grab to make more money off of a subsequent print. You can't reorder the subsequent prints. Like they're gone, unlikely to fill. Literally, that's what it says if you try to reorder it. Out of stock, unlikely to fill.
Yeah.
So they're truly selling out on the subsequent print level.
I mean, that's also a good thing. I mean, that's also it's a very smart thing with what Image is seemingly doing at this point, where, you know, before they would, all right, cool. Say the book orders are 24,000 copies, right? They'd be like, all right, let's make 26. So we have a couple thousand in stock at Diamond or Lunar or whatever. And then that way people
fill damages. I
think now they're like, hey, it's 24,000 orders. We do 2% or 3% for damages, and that's it. Get a second print in the gun, ready to announce on Wednesday morning as soon as the orders at Lunar show that they're sold out. You know, you get the email from Image saying, hey, guess what? Rush to second print because we just sold out. Like they're very smart about how they're doing this.
So Dork went back to print faster than any book in modern history.
Yeah, and I think
the next day.
Wow. Yeah, they're already like exactly. They are like, hey, they know that they're doing it. So they have a second print cover ready. They're sometimes, I would assume, like not knowing, but like sometimes you print the second print the same time you do the first print, just knowing like, hey, I'm going to have something ready. If you want to do it high enough, to give you
the curtain back, Caesar, just for you and just for the viewers who don't know from a retailer's perspective. Clutch knows this. I don't know if you know how allocations work, right? In some cases, when a book gets allocated, it'll be because maybe the creator, he could work for Image, creator owned, obviously, maybe the creator or a smaller press creator doesn't know how many they're going to sell. So they make the print run before FOC. That's what happened with The Last Ronin, which is why Last Ronin #1 got allocated. They completed the total print run. It was done. That also happened with a book called White back in 2021, which was a sequel to Black. The retailers who put out White, they looked at how many copies of Black they had sold, and based upon that, they printed a certain number of copies of White. So White shipped allocated because retailers ordered above what they had already printed. And a lot of times, you know, if you're a lesser known creator and you get a stint with Image to do a 5-issue run, you might say, hey, we're gonna, like he said, we might 24,000 copies. That's what we're gonna print, and that print run will be there before FOC, and we're hoping to sell 15,000, 20,000.
Yeah,
and lo and behold, and that's what I think happened with Dork. I think Dork, the print run was maxed before retailers put their orders in.
No, I mean, Image does a really good job of like hitting FOC dates. You know, like if they have FOC numbers, they don't set the print run until like the next day. Honestly,
really?
They're do really good. I think Dork just honestly, there was this lightning in a bottle with them because coming off of all the hype of the Absolute, everyone's looking for something else, and it was just cool and it was different, you know, and it was like, you know, we haven't seen a fun, cool, interesting book like that in a minute. I think it was really caught that, you know, it caught lightning in a bottle on that one. But when you were right when you're talking about White and when you're talking about Last Ronin, because like those are also other publishers who don't necessarily have, you know, they might not, if you're not printing from FOC. So if, like you said, if you print early, you have to take and say, okay, cool, I'm going to do 2,000 copies, 5,000 copies, whatever. Sometimes on a bigger book, a publisher may use a different printer that's not in the States. And they're like, hey, we're just going to go ahead and we have to do this a little bit early just because we have to save money or whatever. So we can to do that. And that'll set your numbers early too. And then you'll get caught off guard and get allocated and get shorts on stuff. So although it doesn't happen a lot, but when it does, we feel it, right? If we're trying to get stock and we're like, oh shoot, I may have missed it, or you know, you're up early or late on Tuesday, you're just like, I'm trying to get another reorder in, and you're just like, oh nope, it's already gone, you know.
Let me ask. I'm kind of curious about this. And Mark, when you're ready to speak, just go ahead and mute yourself. I had to mute yourself. Your background was a little too loud. but this is being a writer, Mark, and your guys' view as being readers. In your perception, what ruins a storyline?
A hiatus, a long hiatus,
1,000%.
such as we've talked about this before on this show, but like Saga is maybe the best example of
That'll kill a book. That'll kill
long hiatus that has killed momentum in a story in a book. Delays are possibly the worst.
What about you, Mark, as being a writer? What kills, like, when you write something going, I probably shouldn't have went with that?
No,
Is there something in particular?
No. So like when I write, I try to write stuff in a 4-issue story arc, and I won't send it or pitch it to an artist until I have all 4 pages written. And so for me, it's like, we did the Kickstarter for Merciless. Alex was through issue 1 when we did the Kickstarter, so we were good to go. Like we could, as soon as we were done, all we had to do is print and ship. And then, he was working on issue 2 as the Kickstarter is wrapping up. So it's like that. Like we're trying to avoid that because, that would kill us especially being a Kickstarter and doing it single issues. Like if we don't have the next issue out, relatively quickly, we're going to lose, readers. We're going to lose, interest. If we try to kickstart issue 3, people are going to be like, well, where can I get issue 1 or 2? How do I get back into this type of stuff? So I think, what Sam said is right. It's like, when there's breaks like that, like I've had friends that have asked me about kickstarting stuff and they were like, well, I'm going to do a Kickstarter for 4 issues too. And my goal is to do 1 issue and then, I'll do the second issue, 6 or 8 months later. And I'm like, dude, you can't space it out that far, man. You're going to lose any interest you have in your book. And then you're never going to hit your goals, on your Kickstarters.
What about aside? Let's put delays and hiatus aside.
I got it.
And this is for my readers. What is that? You're in 3, issue 4, issue 5, issue 6. Is there a certain formula that you guys read and go, fuck, it jumped the shark, right? It went there.
I could tell you for me as a reader, and I mean this as a reader, because like when I listen to music, when I listen to hip hop, right? I'm from New York. So I'm lyrics first, right? Like the lyrics got to catch me. I like the music, but the lyrics got to catch me. So when it translates to comics, I'm a writer and I'm interested in the writing and the story, and I'm going to give you a chance, meaning I know how writing works. I know long form, I know short form. So I don't need you to give me action or anything every issue, as long as when I get to the end, you're able to tell your story and make it work for me. I can tell. Like, I'll give you an example. Everything Dead and Dying, issue 1 through 5, not my thing at all. Zombies, not my thing at all. But the moment I read the first issue, I could tell that the creative team were passionate, right, about what they were writing. I could see it, and it drew me in, and it was compelling straight through the 5 issues. So what I don't like, and I'm gonna give you an example. And I'm glad Mark said he writes in arcs, because as a writer, I feel you. Larry Hama, right? When he wrote his run on Wolverine back in the 90s, and he's admitted as much, he would come up with this brilliant idea and just start to write it and put it out, not knowing what the end was going to be. And so we start off with this awesome story where Sabretooth is Wolverine's father, and then we end up with like LCD and Albert, robot Wolverine. You know what I mean? Like that's where we end with, because he didn't have the end in sight. He had this great idea and he just started to write it and put it out, and he didn't know, and he said as much, didn't know where he's going to go. And you can see that, people who really invest in, an L. Ewing or a Kieran Gillen or, any of these great writers, right? People who really invest, or someone mentioned James Tynion. I can see when James Tynion phones it in, because he's writing so much. So I can see the difference between Department of Truth, which is high level reading, and Wind, right? Like, or Blue Book, right? Like, not the same level. I can see where he burned out in Nice House by the Lake, right? It didn't stick the landing. Like, number 1 was brilliant. And by the time by the time we got to number 10, it's like, what the hell is this? You know what I mean? This is not what I signed on for. This is not what you told me in issue 1 through 4 I was going to be, the ride I was going on. I started off on a roller coaster and now I'm getting pushed in a wheelchair.
So it's a thing. It's a thing. I mean, even like go ahead, Mark.
No, say you should ask Clutch because he's a writer also now. So you should ask Clutch on his writing how it's.
I'm a pretender to the throne.
Dreadful.
Well, Clutch, about you. I mean, what do you? I mean, are there times where you just like, I don't? If I write this, it doesn't make sense, or I shouldn't.
No, I honestly feel with Ish on a lot of that stuff too. Like you can tell. Look at that the Dreadful 3. Thanks for grabbing that. That's awesome. Yeah, I was really lucky to write that. But I didn't really know what the hell I was doing. But I tried to put it in as a, how do you frame what's my beginning, what's my end? And for me, it was very simple. Like, got to kill the dude, so he's got to die at the end. How do I fill 8 pages and make that happen? And I think as you extrapolate that to the larger thing, like the Larry Hama thing. Like, look, as a kid, I did love LCD, and then the Albert. What was the name of the robot? Wolverine? Albert. Yeah, dude, I was like, that's so cool. I didn't know what the hell was going on in the book. And I partially didn't care because I was like 11. It's like you're like, oh, whatever. So, but I think those things you can tell when a story doesn't feel fully fleshed out, or you've gotten to a point in the story where like, oh, cool, like the first couple issues are firing off, and you're like, all right, cool, like we're on issue 7, 8, and it's like I feel like we lost it a little bit. And I actually love Ish's thing too when you're talking about like an album. Like you can tell like, all right, these songs were made early when it's passionate and you know what you're doing, and these are filler tracks, and you're just like, all right, I didn't need this on the album. Like, just come on, dude. Like, done. So you can sniff it out, and I think it's just really like you can tell the focus from the writer and how it's going. That's my big thing on that part. I think the hiatus part that is ultimately probably the biggest thing in the larger scale of why books end up falling off and losing readers, but like on the more granular part, it's part of the story. Yeah,
that's a problem DC has. That's the one problem DC has, is they have like 5 books every year that take 3 years for 8 issues. Like every year. Like, how long did it take for Hush to finish? Yeah. There's like a Justice Society book that's on like number 10 that's been out since like 2022. You know what I mean? Like, it's
one of the things I learned from Kirkman, in his style of stuff, really, and he would always, tell us like, hey, this is my theory of stuff, right? Walking Dead had to hit the second Tuesday or the second Wednesday of every month, period. Like he knew that, like, look, that's when a person's coming to the shop. We're all creatures of habit. We know that, like, hey, if I'm going to go in on the second Wednesday, I want to have my book there, and people know. And so he made sure that during the entire run of The Walking Dead, it never missed a date. Every month it was there. There's a reason why he had to move off of Tony more in the early days, because Tony wasn't going to hit it. He's like, look, if we don't have issue number 7 in stores a month after issue number 6 comes out, we're going to lose thousands of readers. And he just kept it going, and you see how that goes across other stuff. And it is such an important part of just keeping your rhythm and keeping stuff going,
I would ask you, Andrew, to weigh in, but I think you're like me. The last book you read was probably 1994. So I don't.
Yeah, I just reopened all my old John Byrne, Chris Claremont stuff and just call it a day. So
see, there you go. See, he's a purist. Andrew's a purist. So let me ask you guys a hard question for you readers. What's the last book that you read that you were so gung ho on, and you ran into this situation where you're like, "Fuck, it lost me." What was the anyone? Whoever has one in mind, pop it in now.
Something's
just got some. Oh, really? That dropped for you?
Oh yeah.
Did you just like it started going in an opposite way, and you're just like,
So I'm gonna be clear. Something Is Killing Ginger was never like this. Not to take anything away from Tinian, who's brilliant. It was never the greatest example of his writing, right? You could read issue number 1 through 10. You could read it in 5 minutes. less. Like number one, you could read in less than 5 minutes, right? It's very compelling though. And for me, it got to a point somewhere around issue 20 something at Woodcutter where it just kind of got like, it was kind of like going to mass. You know what I mean? It just felt, it was like a chore to read, even though it's not difficult to read. It just became like a chore to me to read. You know what I mean? It's a great property. I think it's the character. It has a potential to be iconic outside of the medium. You know what I mean? But yeah, if I'm being honest,
reading monthly at that same point ish.
Yeah.
Right during like the Cutter.
So is that the same for you then, Sam?
I think it's really tough. I've started reading things in chunks because single issues to me have been not enough to keep me compelled. And I don't know if it's the way that writers are approaching each issue now, but everything reads better in a 6 issue chunk. So I've just been buying a whole run and then going back and reading everything in one shot. I'll say like a title that has fallen off for me that I really liked in the beginning, World Tree, and it's something that I haven't really gotten back to reading to see, what has been going on in that world. I'm still buying it. But I probably have at least 3 arcs built up that I was like, I'll get around to it.
How about you, Shawn? Is there something you read that you're into, then all of a sudden you're like, you just lost it?
I'm trying to think of like something specific. I honestly I can't, but I can rip on what Sam and Ish are saying in terms of like where you can tell when something is like, oh, this has been a little long on the tooth, and also the interesting thing about how stories are created, right? So people do like a lot of things are created. Stories are written for the trade. They're like, I'm writing this for 6 issues so that as you get longer, like the first general excitement of your first like 12, 18 issues, like, oh, cool, I'm super into it. But then you're just like, I now don't have that the drive and the hunger to read it as it comes out. And they're like, okay, cool. Like I know where stuff is going. So I could kind of vibe into this like on every 6 months, and I'll pick up a trade and just keep on with the series that way, which isn't a terrible way. And that's also kind of part of that model. But I think that there is a lack sometimes of that monthly, like, oh my God, like I have to get this book next month. I want to read it as soon as it comes out. And I feel like for me right now, like, Absolute Batman is that book for me that I'm like, I got to read this book. Yes. Transformers is weirdly that book. I got to read this book. As soon as it comes into my hand, I want to read that book right then. I don't want to wait.
Those are top of the pile.
I'm chilling, waiting,
Yeah, those are definitely top pile books for me. But like, I like Power Fantasy was one of those books that.
Oh yeah,
it was the first thing. Cool. It was the first thing I was reading, every month, and Monstrous, and obviously the Energon books and Absolute stuff. But
actually, the last series that I read happened to be a 4-issue miniseries, ENIAC by Bad Idea. I thought it was excellent. I actually really loved that series.
So how about you, Mark? What's the story that you read that you're like, that's it, I just got less interested?
Somebody mentioned it in the chat. Like I was reading Tynion's Deviant, and it was that thing. It was like, like Clutch said with Kirkman, it was like I expected, like I knew if I read that book this Wednesday, then in a month I should see the next issue. And then if I go back and it's not there and I have to ask them, hey, do you know when this book's going to come out? Or if I have to do the research to find out, when is this book coming out? You kind of start to lose interest. Then when it does come out, I don't necessarily remember what the hell happened in the last issue. And it's like, now I got to go back and I got to reread, these other issues to make it make sense, if it doesn't make sense. So I think, and there seems to be like a theme here with Tynion's, stuff. And I think it's just because he does so much. It's like, you can't physically keep up with, doing all this stuff. And it's cool that he has that many ideas that he wants to get out there. But I think it's, same thing.
With Tynion is an interesting thing of like Exquisite Corpses. I was like, I want the next issue. It had such a quick pace, and I thought it was an entertaining story. I was like, every time I got in, that was one of the first books I read too. And it's interesting because like you think about it, that was conceived as a 13-issue series. It's like, hey, this is locked in. fill it all within all the cool stuff, and that's going to be it. So I think maybe it has to do with how, you know, some of these books are, these are framed. It's like, maybe if it was like, hey, we're going to make this just 24 issues, you can fill that 24 issues with that entire story, kind of condense it in there a little bit. You can get some of the fluff out, and so it doesn't drag on at some point, you know?
And then you get a once in future, right? Like just this great read for 30
Oh my God.
So great.
You know what I mean?
Bro.
And then with Tynan, you get a closet, right? Which is like, no one is talking about the closet. You know what I mean? It's just,
But let me ask you. So I'm assuming that it's kind of like a TV show for me. When that one book, when the next book comes out, and you're like, oh, hey, Ash, the book came out. You're like, yeah, I'll get it when I have time. You know, it's kind of like you're starting to, like Shawn said, Absolute comes out. You got to go get it. You want to pick it up. You want to read it. You want to know what the fuck's going on. But when that book comes out, you're kind of losing interest in it. And you're like, hey, Shawn, you know, that book's out. You're like, yeah, I'll get to it.
It's like me with Marvel content right now. Like I haven't watched.
That's your indicator that it's going. You're like, I'll get. If I read it, I read it. I don't care anymore. It's almost like you lost interest. Once again, like those TV shows, any TV show doesn't have to be comic book based. If you're watching, like for me, Walking Dead. After all, I was like, all right, I'm not. Okay. Negan's done. There's a whole nother Wolf Alpha pack. Alpha, I'm out. You know, and I was like, I'm done. Enough. How much zombies could I take? And the thing is, I would assume so much in comic books when you're reading, you're like, where's this going? Right? Now you just want it to end. Right. And now like you're getting to a point.
World to Come. Like I was so into it. And then I don't even know when the next issue's coming. Like when's the next issue coming? Like just
tying in what you're saying, Caesar, and what you have all mentioned. And I didn't read it. I bought some of the issues. But when Tynan was on Batman, was that a must read every month? And did that also reach a point where, let's say, the product got kind of diluted, like after
No, they kind of did him dirty, but
it was he had a pretty short run.
They don't even use his characters anymore, which is crazy. But
no way.
Yeah, they don't use Ghostmaker. None of those characters pop up.
I love Ghostmaker. What a great character.
Punchline is pretty much
so cool.
like, where is she? But the thing is, with that run, I can tell you, I'm not a Batman guy. I'm glad for Absolute Batman because I'm not a Batman guy. I find Batman to be incredibly boring. I read Tynion's run. I read Tynion's run. I loved I thought he was writing the definitive Joker.
Wow.
His Joker run was really, really pretty great.
That says a lot.
That's when he kind of fell out with DC and, you know, kind of he's back, but he kind of fell out with them. But yeah, that run on Joker I thought it was a definitive run, not the definitive run, but a definitive run.
Fucking Dan, yeah, because Sadam's too busy counting his signature money.
Signature.
Yeah, Court of Owls
right now.
Yeah, Bronson is saying that Punchline is back. You know.
No, he said
bring. He said bring him back.
Oh, well, see, this is why I don't fucking read comics, because apparently I don't know how to fucking read.
So just to put a bug in everybody's ear who reads, Caesar, you can cover your ears or put, you know, whatever you need to do. There's a book that dropped today or that drops next week, tomorrow, called The Eye Collector from Image Comics. I recommend everybody pick it up and give it a read. It's very compelling, very quick story, doesn't overstay its welcome. The art is very News from the Fallout-ish. Very, very, very different and unique art. And what's great about this is
it Jeffrey Allen Love or no?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah. And what's great about it is all 12 issues are done.
Oh, wow. Huge. So no waiting.
They're done. Like they're done.
Yeah, that's such a huge thing. Like honestly, being able to have it all out. So again, like we talked, like every month it's going to be here. It's going to boom, 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 boom. You're going to get them. You don't have to worry about it. Like, geez, it's so nice.
It's interesting that there's so many books out there, right? There's so many books, so much time to read. or not enough time to read, it's hard to. I would think as a reader, it's hard to pick the good ones. I mean, this is the perfect position for Dan, but he's not here. He's out busy fucking swaying to Christopher Cross. But my thing is
and commenting on YouTube at the same
and
time.
commenting on YouTube. But we talked about this in the podcast many times, and I'm going to ask you this question, Shawn. Everyone around you will say when they read a book, they give it 3 issues to see if it catches them. Are you that 3-issue guy, or do you go a little bit longer?
It's a great question, actually. I can't say I've had any that have just been 3 issues recently, but I tend to give a little more. I'll if it's an arc, I go 6. I figure out like that if that's what they're gonna do. Let's see how that goes. But you could tell honestly in 3 issues usually if this is gonna be worth it. But I like to give them the whole breadth of like I will read this whole thing as you meant it to come out, and I'll see the arrows. But you can definitely tell quickly.
I can't do it. I cannot do it.
You can't go 6, right? Ish?
I'm a reader, so I read everything that I sell, right?
Yeah.
Everything that I sell, and I can tell you right away. Like I just mentioned, Eye Collector, like the Power Fantasy. There's certain books when I read the first issue of Sorted Crisis Events, I can tell, okay, I'm around. I'm gonna see where we're gonna go because it's good enough for me to give you a second read. But I can, and I respect writers, right? As a writer myself, I respect writers. So again, I'm not one of those people that jump off board because I didn't get enough action. I love filler episodes on TV shows because I know what you're doing as a writer. You understand what I'm saying? Like I know that you're setting something up, and sometimes the setup has to,
Sure.
When you want to entertain an audience at a wrestling match, right? You can't keep them on a roller coaster. Just you gotta up and down and up and down. You got to give them a chance to breathe, and then take them back up and bring them back down. So I get it. I could tell right away when I read the first issue of a book, like, nah, this one isn't for me. It doesn't mean it's bad. It's just this ain't it. I'm not here for the next issue.
Mark, I don't know if I asked you, are you also a 3-issue guy?
Yeah, I mean, generally for me, I know by 3 issues. But as a writer, like the same thing, like Ish said, like my fear is that, like the book I'm doing now with Alex is like first issue, we start out the here and now. This is what's happening right now. Issue 2, we got to go back and we got to fill in some of the backstory. So why these people are in the situation that they're in. And some people, aren't fans of that. Like they don't want to see that where you go back and you're telling it because, you're not moving that story necessarily from issue 1, but it's like you said, I need to do that because I need you to understand like why this person is the way they are. And then we get to issue 3, we're back to the action and stuff like that. But I am generally as a reader, like by 3 issues in, I kind of know, is the story going, is it moving along? Is it going in a way, that interests me? Is it, just not, moving? Is it just,
Man, I read Absolute Flash #1. I was good. I'll collect it, but I'm good on it.
I thought you liked it now.
I like it now.
Okay, well,
like
that's hold on, Itch. So that's a good. So this brings me to my next. This brings me to my next question. What is that book where you hit number 3 and you're like, I'm out, but you read the next one, you're like, oh wait a minute, I'm back in.
No,
what's that book that you almost
I wasn't back
lost?
in on Flash until. So the thing with the Absolute books, right, is all of the villains that they set up early on they're like the mini bosses, right? Like they're actually building towards their major villains. And Flash's mini boss was just garbage. So the whole run was from like 1 through 10 was till we get real Gorilla Grodd, right? And then it's now suddenly becoming good. But like his mini, I don't even know.
But wait a minute, but you said you drop out after issue 3. You kind of know it. How the fuck did you get to number 10?
Yeah, so it becomes so here's the thing. It becomes a chore, right? So because I sell these books, so in order to, and I talk about these books and I sell them, so like I have to read them. So Flash, I would just start to skim because #1 was just really bad, right? So I just kind of skimmed, and then I got this looks and I read it. I'm like, oh, this is good. And it's like issue 10, right? Issue 11.
I just had a vision of you like Clockwork Orange, where your wife is putting toothpick in your eyelids and she's reading the book to you, until it gets good. You know what I'm saying?
Absolute Superman is one to answer your question. Absolute Superman was, I thought the first issue was really great. Even Absolute Wonder Woman. I think the first arc of all three Absolute books, to me, the first arc, meh. I didn't enjoy the first arc of Absolute Batman. I didn't enjoy the first arc of Absolute Wonder Woman. I thought number 1 was good. I did enjoy the first arc of Absolute Superman, and that kept me. But Absolute Batman is the best of the bunch, but I didn't enjoy the first arc at all.
What about you, Shawn? Did you ever lose sight and all of a sudden you're like, you know what? That's actually not too bad.
This is going to be a big tell, but Invincible. When I first collected it, when I first started reading Invincible, I got through like issue like 8 or 9. I was like, yeah, dog, this isn't my jam. And
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I was like, no, it's good. Then honestly, like I picked it up a couple years later because I was like, oh, it seems like people are talking about it and whatever. And I was like, I went back and reread it. I was like, oh God, this is great. But like, man, that was because the turn didn't, you didn't get the turn until 11 and 12, and that's when stuff really started kicking off. But I was just like, nah, dude, I don't need another kid one. And it's honestly it's like my favorite superhero contained story. Like the whole thing is like, I love it up and down now. But it was like, yeah, I remember selling issue number 1 for like, and I think I got like $75, and I was like the happiest I'd ever been. I was like, yes, I made $75 on this book. That was like 2006, and I was like stoked, Yeah, that was. Yeah, and then now it's like the animated series, all that stuff. I love it,
Yeah, Mark, same with you. What is there something that you got lost on, and then they pulled you back in?
Trying to think of like recently what I've gotten through. I think like the Deviant, like I talked about before, like it kind of felt like it was dragging like after 3. I kind of felt like I knew where the story was going to go. And then, with the delays, it didn't help things for me. So it just made me kind of like, I don't think I'm going to follow that. I gave all the new X-Men stuff a shot from Marvel, like the first issue. Again, like that stuff, I just didn't, it wasn't just for me. Like it's, I'm sure people love it. But for me, it was just like, I hear people saying good things about some of the titles now, but it's like, I don't want to jump in now after, missing 10, 12 issues or whatever.
Are they building to a absolute Justice League?
Well, Justice League are bad guys.
See? So now I want to read.
If you read a comic book, you would know this.
You son of a bitch! How dare you? This is the last time you're going to be on this show.
They've already introduced them too, by the way.
Okay, well that's nice. Well, listen, did I say I meant to say Legion of Superheroes? I didn't.
They're bad ones too.
I think they're building towards a super team of some sort for sure. Well, the Justice League we've seen appear in Absolute has been comprised of like Joker, Ra's al Ghul, I think Veronica Kell. They all appeared in Absolute Evil, but in Absolute Superman dropping tomorrow, they actually show you the ancient Justice League.
Ancient Justice
League. Did you see that, Sam?
Yeah, I just flipped through it a little bit earlier.
So that looks like that. I don't want to spoil it for people, but
I think Caesar, you need to understand too, is like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the Absolute Universe was created by Darkseid to make it harder for the heroes.
So the evil villains are the ones who are shining.
Well, the heroes just don't have the resources they have.
Yeah, they just don't have the resources they had in the other stuff. So
I mean, listen, I got to tell you, Sam has an Absolute Batman waiting for me to pay him so I can. It's slabbed. I'm not going to fucking read it. But I gotta tell you,
I'm only gonna sell you a raw one now, so you have.
You son of a bitch! No,
yeah, so that's Ryan. You actually have to read the book.
You know what?
To get it.
You're gonna join Mark on the unemployment line because you're not gonna be on again either. Shawn, you want a full-time job? So this is the thing. everyone keeps talking about, and this has been for a while, and I always ask, like, does Absolute have some legs? And everyone's saying, absolutely. Does it look like it's dying down at all as a story wise?
Can you put yourself?
I mean,
on
at
the map?
all?
Can you
No,
put
okay,
yourself
fuck,
on
I
the
don't
map?
know.
Put yourself in timeout.
I'm
Does it
just,
look like it's
I'm
dying
just
down to you?
asking, Mofo.
Does it look like
I'm
it's
just
dying down to
saying.
you?
Are you guys afraid that's going to hit that peak? Do you see that in the forest? No.
No.
So they had
I
a
think it's the
5-year
future.
plan, and that's what it's supposed to go 5 years. It's if they get rid of Absolute for any reason, I think it would be a bad decision. I don't think they see it, that they're looking at a
No.
foreseeable end at any
There's
point.
there's no way the checks these guys are cashing at DC.
Yeah.
They're DC's like, nah, bro. Like Scott, you got
Keep it going.
what's 6 through 10?
8 million copies sold across all Absolute titles since
Yeah,
the end of
it's
2024.
absolutely
Like,
crazy.
it's just no company has done that in that period of
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. We're winding down here, and this is how quickly 2 hours fucking flies by when you're having conversations. I'm gonna ask each and one of you. I'm gonna ask each and one of you this question, and I only want one name. I'm gonna ask
Mike Mayhew.
and I'm gonna ask. You're right. It is about an artist. So my question to you guys is, who's that one artist that everyone raves about, but you just don't get? I'll go, and it's no knock on him. It's just not my.
You're not going to say writer, right? You're not going to say writer.
And no, and this is what I'm going to say. And once again, it's not a knock. It's just I don't get it. But fantastic artist. I don't get Scotty Young's stuff.
Well, you took my
The
answer.
the kid stuff.
The chibi stuff.
I don't.
That makes me sad.
I like his non-chibi stuff, as you called it. I like that. I just don't get the kid stuff. It's too cute for me, and I don't get it. So that's, once again, it's not that he's a shitty artist. Obviously, he's not. I just don't get that style. Let's see, Andrew. Who do you kind of go like? I don't get it.
I don't know. I'm an artist myself, and like I have a tough time being critical of other artists, and I that sounds kind of like a lame way out of the question. But I guess to answer your question, maybe John Romita Jr. stuff never really never was banging for me. So like,
I need a timeout. Like,
Mark.
I mean, I think that the guy's done a ton of stuff for the comic industry, but I'm not a Rob Liefeld fan. And I saw his Evangeline exclusive for San Diego, and it just didn't do anything. To me, it looked like one of those figures when we were a kid. It didn't have the joints, and the arms were just like straight like this. The hand holding the sword, the fingers are out straight, and I've never really been a Liefeld fan. But it's funny because Aaron Campbell lives here and Andy Kuhn lives here, and we'll hang out, and those two will get into arguments about, like, Andy will try to stick up. Andy's always like the guy that's the industry, hey, everybody's got their place, everybody does good stuff. Aaron is just like,
guy.
no, that is shit. That is the worst stuff I've ever seen. Who's drawing guns that look like paper towel rolls? It's like,
Caesar is mad that he asked this question, y'all. Why did I ask this question?
But I know Liefeld's done a ton for the industry. I was never really a fan of his art.
Okay. Peter, he tuned in with Ditko. It's a little blasphemy, as he says, but Ditko doesn't really do it for him. Sam, who's your guy?
Right.
Once again, everybody, this is not a knockoff on the artist being a shit.
No, yeah.
It just doesn't do it. It just doesn't do it for him.
Who is blown up right now, that I'm just not a collector of the art. I guess I could see why it's popular, but it's just not something I'm going after. Ito. Covers up like definitely popped off. The Ghost Pepper covers have been the one that like drove the popularity and the rise, and now there's a bunch of like limited covers that continue to happen. And that might turn me off to it too, but good solid painter, just nothing that has made me go, like I have to seek out and find these variants and pay a premium for them.
I love Dito's sick tick covers that he did for Boom. The last 2 recent ones are so cool.
Oh, you know what? I think
those were I thought those were like his. I'm like, oh, you nailed those ones.
That might have been actually the first Ito I've purchased, which is the one with Octo.
Yeah, that's a cool one too.
Yeah.
And then there was the ones where she's like, one's got the chainsaw, one's got the axe or whatever, and they're like,
oh, I saw those.
Those are really cool. I really like those a lot.
Ish, what's yours?
Dragoda.
What?
Wow.
No, man.
What? I just don't get it. I'm not gonna shit on them. I don't.
Yeah. You just don't get it, and that's perfectly fine.
In the same way that I didn't get Mark Teixeira back in the day.
Yeah,
I just didn't.
I get it.
Shawn, who's your guy, or not your guy, I should say?
Oh, right now it's and again, I find it hard to find one that I really just can't vibe on. I thought Mark's the line about the Liefeld holding, like they're holding a paper tube or whatever. When I was a kid, always we would tape like a broken pen onto a G.I. Joe guy's arm, and that's his gun. And I'm like, oh, that's like a Liefeld drawing weapons and stuff. It's always like here's an oblong, here's a rectangle that has rounded edges, and that's a cannon. You're like, oh, I don't know what that is.
But you're never coming on again. He's like, yo, this is a wrap. Like, yo.
But I honestly, I will tell you honestly, I can't think of anyone that I'm just like not like. They're not my jam right now, and I also don't like to yuck other people's yums, at the same time too.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, I mean, it's I'll say like the recent Miller stuff. I know people, stick up for him and stuff and whatever. Everyone has seemed completely just like bonkers to me, and I'm like, I can't vibe with it. And the last couple of JR stuff hasn't really got to me either, but overall, like, I'm not going to bag on their entire, body of work though.
And I'll say it again, just as a PSA, I like Scott Young stuff. I just don't dig the stuff. It's just too cute. I don't.
You think it's cute though? That's funny. I'm like, it's like, I don't think they're very cute.
No,
I mean, they're kind of kitty and stuff, but like,
it's kitty because I don't. It's so kid-like, right? With the big head and little arms, and it's exaggerated, and it's just. But as we know, there's a massive market for it.
Had you not said Scotty, so then I went to the next. If somebody would have said Dakota, then I would have went to Spears.
Yeah, I've heard people say they don't get Spears. I have heard that many times. They're like, I don't like the color palette. It's just too much. It's too computer generated.
Did you see he did his first Marvel here?
Now, disclaimer for when people watch the show on YouTube and they decide that they don't ever want to come on Caesar's show because he lets the entire panel bash artists. All of the artists that we mentioned are actually quite good. Yeah. They're just not to our specific taste. We just don't get it. But I'm not going to say that Dragoda isn't good.
What is that? Is that Spears?
Yeah, Spears. That's
his magic.
The Captain America.
Yep.
Can we? So you guys, can I ask you guys, Sam, Ish, and like those magic covers specifically? Is it such a it just breaks my heart that like they couldn't figure out how to properly frame it, and they have the black bar at the top and bottom. I'm like, you guys should have moved it up, put some text or something like that, or put something on the top, say, hey, in stores now or whatever. Like, this just completely dead space on that. It bugs me.
I'm with you because there are 2 covers that I own. The 1 in 50 specifically because the art is beautiful to me. The Storm from X-Men 32, and that fucking Squirrel Girl cover. Like, that Squirrel Girl cover is beautiful, and I'm so mad that it's in this little, you know what I mean? Like, yo,
crazy,
because it's so good. You know what I mean? And there's other good. The Thanos cover was really good, but the standout to me, for me personally, because I'm a Storm guy, was a Storm cover. But that's when I had Sam, you saw I posted it, man. That Squirrel Girl cover is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Really
Dude,
gorgeous.
Did
this
you guys
week's
see
Storm
the
cover might
Magic
be
covers when they did the Storm ones last year at New York Comic Con? They did the
Yes.
Storm and the Wolverine, but like those, they weren't cropped, so they had the lines at the top. And I'm like, I just don't understand, like, what part of, between them and Wizard of the Coast were like, hey, you have to have this frame exactly. Like, I thought those would look. I love that Storm cover is bananas to me too. I love it.
Yeah.
Bronson kind of nailed it. It's art, obviously, right? Art is subjective, and no one should like everything. I mean, if everyone liked everything and everyone liked the same thing, then there wouldn't be any fucking drama on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate here and challenge Bronson, because latest news is that John Byrne's Elsewhere completely sold out first printing, and I would challenge any of your guests to say that they hate John Byrne's art or are not into it. I'm interested in getting that book, and I'm looking forward to getting it. It's on back order right now for me, but wow, I can't believe that book sold out. That is shocking.
I'd be interested to find out what the print run on that book was, and it could be a situation too where, like said earlier, like maybe they were just like, hey, this is what the numbers are going to be, and they didn't expect that the hype was going to happen so much, like between FOC and then when the book comes out, like there could be, it's. I think they probably definitely underprinted what they should. They probably should have done a big overprint on that book.
Who's publishing it?
Oh, it's a partner of Marvel. Oh, I don't know.
Why is before I know we're getting close to it. Why is Burns trying to be canceled?
He's not trying to be canceled. No one
this woman Heather.
Who?
Yeah.
Why?
It was some social media thing. She posted that. What was her reason that she wanted to cancel it? It was really funny.
Sam, you're the data guy this time. Dan's
Do you know why? Yeah, Dan's not here to look it up. I want to know why.
I know nothing about this.
You have your phone.
Yeah, Heather Anto is she was an editor over at Marvel years ago. I think she's at IDW now currently, or somewhere.
She's IDW now. I think she does Star Trek stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And so,
IDW is partner with Marvel.
I think she was just basically bringing up the fact, like some old comments that he had said, and him being a, a-hole, bigot, and all that stuff. It's, similar stuff that's been talked about for years. And I think she was just trying to, hey, let me bring this back up to folks.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
yeah, there you go. That's all you have to say is old shit. And it is what it is. I don't tell you. She said X-Men. Hold on, here we go. From Peters, she said the X-Men are supposed to be inclusive with LGBT, and Burns said his X-Men wasn't about that.
Okay, so I don't want to defend or get into the politics of it, but there wasn't any LGBTQ members in Byrne's run of X-Men.
And I think that's her problem with it, maybe.
Yeah, but there actually wasn't. I don't know if it was purposeful or anything. There just weren't any.
Yeah,
he only drew 106 through 140, 141.
143.
143 was his last issue, and
108.
All of the inclusive themes. I mean, that was when the book became about inclusion. I mean, it always had that theme, but Chris Claremont really drove that home. And Magneto went from like your standard villain to like this, sympathetic Jewish character during that run, in 150 when he almost kills Kitty Pryde and realizes she's Jewish as well. And he really feels some type of way about it. And, that whole run was very as inclusive, in my opinion, especially for what was going on in comics at the time, as you can be. And I think
in an abstract way, yes. Like, mutants are the original LGBTQ whatever
in and of themselves. They're like all the things. Like they're all the things. Like they're not. They're all. You had a whole race of mutants that just lived underground.
Yeah.
Because they physically couldn't live in society without being persecuted. And I'm not trying to defend or anything. What I'm saying is I don't think that John Byrne purposely said, I'm not writing and putting an LGBTQ character in this. I just didn't think. I don't think that there was it just was by proxy of this was the X-Men, and this is who we have on the team. And Bobby Drake didn't become whatever he would become sexually till like 50 years later.
Yeah, that was only like 10 years. Within 10 years,
Iceman wasn't even on that team.
Yeah.
See, this is why I don't read, people. I don't want the headache. You guys just prove my right.
It's just a stupid argument to make
listen.
about
It is
somebody's run on a comic book in the 70s.
Yeah,
I think it's somebody's just a reason just to fucking start shit. Let's be honest, and get likes and get engagement and start. We know how it runs. All right, people. This is around that time of the show when we go around and we let you guys pimp your wares. What are you doing next? Where you can be seen? What are you going to be selling, aka, and where you'll be selling, aka Big Clutch? So why don't we go ahead and as a matter of fact, Shawn, I can put you on first.
Oh God.
So Or you want to go second? We could go second.
No, it's totally fine. I honestly, in 24 minutes, I'll be on eBay Live, slinging some books.
nice.
Every Tuesdays and Thursdays, except for this coming Thursday, and then sometimes on the weekends we'll do shows. Wednesday night, I'll be on Wednesday's podcast with McClay and the crew. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
All right, just like that. That was pretty uneventful. Thank you, Shawn.
Sorry, dude.
I thought you had more stuff, but fuck.
I mean, announcements tuning tomorrow. Be on Wednesdays.
Oh, there you go. See, there you go. I'm not the launch pad anymore. I'm just the warm up for the real good stuff hits tomorrow. Mark, what's going on?
So this Saturday, I'll be in Santa Fe with Andy Kuhn, Big Adventure Comics, for the fourth stop for Merciless. So we'll have books, we'll have prints, we'll have all that stuff there. We're going to have 2 exclusive covers at San Diego through Primo Comics. So we did an absolute Batman homage for Primo
that's cool.
Comics.
I like
So that's Alex. So they're doing a foil of that. And then they're doing a foil. Raymond Gay did a cover for us. So they're doing a foil of that. I don't know what the limited run is that they're doing. For the Kickstarter, we did 50 of Ray's cover and 50 of Andy Kuhn's cover. And I think we're down to like 10 left. So we'll have those Saturday. And then after that, it'll just be, if somebody wants them, they can reach out, or we'll have them at shows with us. But that's about it for me. It's San Diego. So San Diego's coming up next.
All right. But yeah, Shawn, you might want to read Merciless. From what I understand, from what I hear from my friends, it's a good read. I'll wait for the audiobook or for Ish to read to me. Sam.
What's up, everyone? Caesar, good show again. Thank you. What do we have going on? Check out our exclusives at sequentialartcomics.com. We just dropped our Absolute Batman 21 and 22 by Gillum March. We look forward to announcing a 23 once we get some final art. We're partnering up with a new artist on that one, so it should be exciting. We will have a pretty amazing Do a Power Bomb coming up soon. It's for their Black and White #1. If you're a Daniel Warren Johnson fan, and I'll say if you're an Absolute Batman fan, you will definitely want to check it out because it's an homage to a pretty amazing cover. So you can follow me at Comics and Plex to see all those announcements, or catch us at Sequential Art Comics.
All right. Andrew, I know you got stuff to sell.
Thanks for having me on again. I always have a great time with you guys and love shooting the breeze and just nerding out with you all. And I was at Heroes Con last week. I didn't have a table for Comic Capsule, but I did bring some Comic Capsule swag and some love, and was walking the showroom floor, gave out a bunch of things, and just the collector love in general was fantastic. It's one of my favorite cons. Again, that was my first time there, and I'm looking forward to going next year. And I hear that Baltimore might be kind of in the same vein, like more comic centric. and there might be another one. Might be going to in Albuquerque, New Mexico next year that we might get a table at. So, it was fun. It was like 2 years into Comic Capsule now. It's really awesome because the feedback I'm getting at conventions now is so different. Like 2 years ago, people kind of didn't want to be bothered seeing it. This year at Heroes Con, people were just coming up to me like, man, thank you guys for making this product. And, it just felt really good. There's some kind of vindication to what we're doing. So thank you all.
Yeah, no, Comic Capsule, and I'm gonna throw this out there real fast because here we go. Because I got to give you a little bit of a shout out, Mr. Andrew. Comic Capsule comes in a variety of colors. I happen to have. Hold on, let me show you guys real quick. I happen to have the clear Comic Capsule here, right? There you go. Right, and I have quite a few. Andrew's been very kind to me, and I've been showing these off. You can hang them in the back. Great for Raws. As you can see, I put the whole backer board in there. Slide it right on in. And they also have the comic capes as well for your magazine style size. The clear backer board.
Got the slab covers too.
Yeah. So, all right. Ish. Why don't you go ahead and let's go ahead and do your thing, my man.
Yo, shout out to everyone watching. Hope you're watching on YouTube. I hope you are watching on Instagram. I hope you're watching on all the platforms. I hope you're giving a like. Hope you're giving a thumbs up. Go there, like it, thumbs up, click on the video, let it play for a few seconds. Just don't do nothing. Caesar brings fire week in and week out on the Real Dracula's Wolf podcast. I think this is like episode 5, 6, 7 of we didn't had a run of great episodes. The second time Andrew's been on, we got Big Clutch on. We've had an artist roundtable last week. Caesar keeps bringing fire. Shout out to you, Caesar. Really appreciate you for doing this, man. Really appreciate you for having me on. I want to shout out Mark. Mark does one of the dopest cons in New Mexico. Mark, you make me a better person. I want to say you're taking Dan's spot. Listen, Mark, literally one of the nicest guys you'll meet. Check out Merciless. Go to Mark's social medias, follow Mark, support his Kickstarter, buy his book. Go find Merciless, buy the book, follow Big Clutch's social media. I've never met Big Clutch. It was a pleasure to meet you today. I've heard a lot about you.
Great to meet you too, dude.
Heard a lot about you. Kevin Delgado speaks very highly of you here in our local.
Oh, look at that. He talked himself into oblivion.
I don't know what you got. My internet for some reason stays out, but I know what you do on social media. I know the ambassadorship that you bring to this community. I'm just finding out now that you write, so I think that's really dope. Big ambassador. Listen, to those who are listening that follow me, you know how I am. I am the Robin Hood of the unfair market. I feel some type of way about the unfair market. I don't put my name behind anything that I think is shady. I have heard nothing but great things about Big Clutch's ambassador. And I mean that. I really mean this. I've heard about you long before I met you. So make sure you go follow his social medias. You on YouTube?
Kind of. Not I'm terrible. I'm terrible at making videos, but yes.
Okay. I think I saw a YouTube video for the first time I saw you.
How was eBay?
I've done a couple. I need to do more. I've got a load of stuff I gotta get done.
Go follow him. Compel him to do more because we need more people like him in this community. Comic Sam's and Comic Sam's Collects. Y'all know what he does. Y'all know how dope he is to this community. You know about sequential art. You know about the plethora of exclusives. You also know about the weird background noise that we're all hearing. We just gonna kind of ignore that and keep it moving. Andrew, the Comic Capsule. Caesar just sold you his products. If y'all don't want to buy a product, okay, don't buy it. But follow him on social media. Find his Instagram, find his social medias, and here's why. Because when you do, at some point, you will want to buy a product. At some point, you will want to buy a product. Just go do that now. Push the button. Just push the button. That having been said, I'm that dude. I am Issue X. the Robin Hood of the unfair market, owner and proprietor of Comic Sense, COMIXSENSE, where we want all of the smoke, the full-fledged middle finger, war with the unfair market. That is what we do. We bring you the best value anywhere on new books, keys, and spec, period, point, and blank. You can find me on Comic Sense on Instagram, on Facebook, group, and page. You can find me at ISHUE.X on Instagram as well. That's what it is. Appreciate you all for hanging out with us every week.
My man, I gotta tell you, thank you, Louise, for the support. Yeah, man. Listen, next week we're gonna be talking OAs. That's right. We have K-Van from Instagram's very own K-Van. We're gonna have GRG Holmes talking about all his OA stuff. It's gonna be a fun ride. Listen, I'm not fucking around here.
This is a fire show.
Like this has been saying ever since day one when we had Code Blue and Crime City Comics. I've been pretty. I'm awesome. I'm a good dude. All right. I'm gonna pat myself because somebody has to.
You're supposed to, bro.
We're bringing some shit, and we got some stuff booked all the way to the beginning of August. I'm telling you, what's going on. Shawn, my man, this won't be the last time you're going to be on. Love having your takes. Love having you on. You're a good dude, and it works out for you because you're on the West Coast. It's like by the time we get off, you jump on your eBay show. It's perfect timing, man.
Slinging them books.
Yeah, slinging them books. So that being said, we'll see you guys next week. K-Van and GRG Holmes, and peace. And remember, guys, don't be a douche. Thanks a lot, guys.